what is it? Thursday? It's almost April.
Almost April. End of March.
Almost April 2023. And I took some time and went through your Facebook page because I was doing something with you deciding to run. And wow. November 2020 is when this all started.
November 2020.
That was day one. I think it was November 17th.
November 17th.
Because day 365 was November 17th, 2021.
So November 17th, November 16th is when I ran into Jeremy, and big COVID beard, 255 pounds, just at my worst, mid-COVID. And again, he's like, yeah, I'm a life coach now and a personal trainer. Yeah, I don't think he finished the sentence. I'm like, I'm in.
I would have done the same thing.
I'm in, let's do it. He's like, all right, meet me in the gym tomorrow. And because it was November 17th, and why I remember that it was November 17th is the end of February was 100 days. So we were going to do 90 days. And then I'm like, might as well just make it 100 because February 28th. So it was exactly 100 days, and we're like, let's make this a 100-day challenge. And again, I've said this story before, but he's like, who are you accountable to? And I go, oh my God, like I've burned all those bridges. Like I've told my wife and my kids and friends, like I'm starting to work out, or I got a trainer, or I've got a new gym membership. And again, weeks on, and then months or years off, and nothing ever sustained. And he's like, all right, post it on social. I'm like, great idea. Let's do it.
You're very good at that, by the way. Because
I really wanted it. That was why. Like, people are like, wow, it's brave to post. And I'm like, man, I just felt like I was at my worst, and I didn't know when my heart attack was going to happen. So whatever it took, I don't care. Whatever accountability I needed, like the decision was made. I have to change my life. I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. Whatever I was doing was definitely not working. And again, right time, right place with Jeremy and Godsend, etc. And few months in, he saw the changes, and he's just like, why don't you be my business partner? And I'm like, oh my God.
Well, wait, before that, you had mentioned to me and to others about the Bee Gees. That's kind of what got you into it.
Well,
what's your favorite Bee Gees song, by the way?
All of them. I really like them all.
Yeah? There's not one that gets you pumped up.
They're all, a lot of people don't know they're the number one selling band in the 70s. It wasn't, Beatles or Rolling Stones or whatever else. It was Bee Gees. And I think at one time they had like 7 out of the 10 top 10 songs at once. Like it's
so like Taylor Swift.
Well, I don't know that it's ever been repeated. I don't know. But so the documentary was super interesting. But what stuck out to me, because I was at a low point, was that one brother died at 30, one brother died at 40, one brother died at 50. And I'm like, man, you're 44. When's that heart attack? You've luckily passed 30, you've luckily passed 40. Are you going to pass 50? I don't even know. Like, that's not a good place to be in, not knowing or not having this confidence that you're going to live longer. And
what was that low point though? Why were you in a low point? Describe it.
Mid-COVID, I was in real estate the past few years. There was zero deal flow. We were all isolating, so at home a lot, thinking about what's my next career move, kind of knowing, but not knowing when. At my heaviest, eating, drinking more than I did in the past. Just not in a good place at all. And just again, I feel it was my rock bottom. I didn't want to go lower. It was as low as I wanted to go, and made the decision that I could keep going down this path and get worse and everything, get heavier, die. I don't even know. Or I can, but again, it was the decision, and it was definitely the coaching and the accountability and helping me connect dots that I could never connect before.
What's your favorite childhood memory?
Oh my God, so many. My childhood was amazing.
Were you born here?
Super blessed. No, Russia.
And
So Belarus, and we went through the whole immigration thing. It was 1980. I was 4 years old.
Wow.
And I don't remember any of that. It's like my memory started around 6 or 7.
So unfair. So unfair to lose that 6 years, especially if you were a parent, right? All the good things you did under 6. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, but man, it was always amazing. I was always grateful. Learned the American dream and the American way, and parents worked really hard, multiple jobs. Worked our way up, so it was always exciting, moving from Cleveland Heights to Richmond Heights to Lyndhurst, into our own home, then Richmond Heights to Beechwood, and going to a great college, Miami University. So my whole childhood was just, I was the first bar mitzvah in our family, and in America. I think one of my favorite memories that definitely stands out is the immigration wave in the late 80s, early 90s. And just a lot of cousins coming from Russia and picking them up from the airport. We were allowed to go meet them at the gate back then.
Yeah, good old days.
And my brother and I would print these long dot matrix printer, welcome to America.
Oh, God,
and color them in. And, we would greet them and come to our home. Again, little Lyndhurst house with a bunch of little bedrooms, but we housed everybody. And just that time of feasting and how excited they were, and they're in America and what that meant. And then we would watch Jazz Singer together and Fiddler on the Roof together. And it was just a great time. I mean, it was 10 years of non-stop, from like 8 to 16 of non-stop people coming to America, and Jewish Family Services would situate them with apartments, but for a couple days or even a week, they would live with us. And my parents housed everyone, over 100 people, on their path to America. And it was definitely, I definitely have that instilled in me, as understanding what America means and what the opportunity is, and as shitty as the world and news and just not being free, and the stories I've heard, and it needs to be in a book, because it's gonna die with me if it doesn't. But we talked about it with our cousins, to all the stories that we heard at the dinner tables about the persecution in Russia and being Jewish and why they left. It needs to be documented for sure. So future generations, so future generations would learn and really see what they lived in, and brainwashing and just insanity. And
that's a lot as a child. You mentioned that, taking in, but then also moving from Richmond Heights, like you were moving on up, right? You had a whole plan. Your parents had a whole plan. And so when you were little, what did you think you were going to be? I mean, that kind of correlates from what you're saying to entrepreneurship, okay? Because I want to see growth. I want to build.
Right.
So what did you think you were going to be when you were little?
So my first epiphany of, career was when I caddied, when I was 14, 15 years old at Acacia Country Club.
That's
and I
crazy.
caddied for all these successful doctors and attorneys and entrepreneurs. And I'm just like, this is the life. I heard their stories and vacations and trips and golfing and I'm like, I got to be a doctor, and I like kids, and I'm going to be a pediatrician. And went to college and took a lot of pre-med classes and realized I wanted to be a doctor for the wrong reasons. I'm not a hospital guy, and the sight of blood or even giving me a shot, I'm that person that can't look at all and tell me when it's over. So definitely couldn't be a doctor, but wanted success, wanted to continue what my parents started. Leave a legacy was important to me early. Had that seed planted, where I don't want to say I'm competing with my dad. I just think it's so crazy, the legacy that he'll always have. I always talked about the fact that my dad will always be remembered for the next, hundreds of years as I shouldn't say my dad and my mom, as the people that brought hundreds who have turned into thousands to America and us. And it's like, I know of my grandfather. I don't know anything about my great grandfather and beyond. But my dad and mom will be remembered as those that broke. So what do I need to do to be remembered as well?
That's big shoes to fill.
I'm just saying. So those are the things that have gone through my head, is like, what big audacious things do I have to achieve, and what are those audacious goals? So it was always, that seed was planted to me, and why, in my career, I've always chased home runs and grand slams versus just opening up another lemonade stand or working for someone. It was really important for me to find something wrong in an industry or whatever else and be bigger, better, help people with a different angle than others. And I've had the fortunate opportunity to help other entrepreneurs also think through their businesses and whatever else. And that's what I've always coached them on too, is like, where's the problem? Where's the real problem? Mm-hmm. And where's the problem in the industry? So when people think of your industry and they think of it in a negative way, it could be any industry. I've had this conversation with my brother about his industry and staffing and executive recruiting. It's in the health and wellness industry. It was in the audio video, home theater industry. It was like, what different type of angle can we do to really separate ourselves and grow and hire great people and whatever else? So,
go outside of that, music seems to be a really big part of your life in weird ways. Like, for example, not weird, but different ways. So, for example, your mom was just side note, my mom knew your mom.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right.
Universe, #universe. And she was my mom told me she was an amazing piano teacher. Music is what kind of made you wake up in your rock bottom.
Yep.
People might not know this, but you owned a nightclub in the 90s, and
accidentally, but yeah, it was good.
And then you also worked in sound.
Yeah.
As a career. So music has been a sort of this at the heart of a lot of big moments in your life.
By the way, I have not prepared for this podcast at all. So I didn't know these questions ahead of time. So I'm really impressed that you connected these dots in ways I never connected or thought about it. And why I didn't feel I needed to prepare was it's my life, and now I try to be very honest,
very transparent life,
very transparent and honest life. So I don't have to prepare bullshit answers and is what I told Navah, that I don't want to even see these questions ahead of time. But Yeah, that's really interesting that you say that. So my mom was an amazing music teacher. There's still people that come up to me today and say, your mom taught me piano, and I remember your mom, and I love her, and whatever else.
Everyone loves her.
Her own kids, not so much. She was a very strict teacher, and it's like trying to teach your kid how to ski or how to. They're just not open for it. It's almost like whatever you're good at, you need to let somebody else take those initial steps. So she actually put my brother and I with other piano teachers, but she definitely helped and watched us practice. And I always joke that my mom would be on before the phone was on the wall, it wasn't a cell phone, and there was a long cord so she could cook and clean and whatever. I mean, that cord was 50 feet long.
Oh God, that cord, untangling that cord. That's like another podcast, right?
But we would be in the living room playing or practicing, and my mom's on the phone completely, and my mom, very emotional person and totally into the conversation, and we would hit the wrong note and her conversation would stop, her slipper would come off and throw it across the room. Like in a joking way, but it's just like, and she would say the notes, not in English, but like B bemoll or whatever the note name is or whatever else. And she'd hear it and know what note I hit wrong and what note.
And this was in piano?
It was in piano.
What was a song that you liked playing, by the way? Or that you were good at?
That's a good question. Pachelbel's Canon. So I learned one crazy song, which was Pachelbel's Canon, and it was a friend of mine in high school that he learned just from his own. He stayed up really late nights learning the song. I'm like, I want to learn that song, and he taught me, and my mom taught me, and that was one song that I could play, which is a heck of a song. Other than that, it was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star,
yeah.
and I liked Axel F as a kid too. I played that song. What's it called?
Well, you're thinking of that. How many years did you play piano?
Not many, maybe 4 or 5 off and on.
Oh.
Just but those dinners with family and all the other dinners, my whole life always ended with my mom entertaining for an hour or hour and a half. And she was always this little magician that, always unassuming, but sits down at the piano, and she's a concert pianist. And just, again, the emotion, the perfect fingers and flying through the keyboard, and her emotion into it, and seeing people's tears. And I mean,
what's a song she played?
Thousands of evenings, not hundreds, not a few, 1,000 plus. Everyone remembers her food and her piano playing, and of course the emotions and her toasts and things that she said. But
what is a song that you just connected to?
Yeah, all of them. I mean, she played Chopin and Beethoven and Mozart and all the classics. I mean, she was amazingly talented. But just a quick segue, but it connects. When my kids started playing hockey, all the parents are kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And they're like, go get it and skate faster
What
and
are you
do
doing?
this and what are you doing? And my mom just turned to all of them.
Oh.
And a lot of the parents still remember it to this day. And they're just like, she's just like, your kids skate for 2-3 hours a week for 3 or 4 or 5 months a year, but you're expecting Gretzky results. She goes, I practiced piano for 2-3 hours before school and after school for 20 years. And then I did it for a living, and that's dedication. That's when you can expect what you guys are expecting, is when your kids are here 2 hours before school and 2 hours after school, 365 days a year, then you can yell at your kids and expect the expectations. And she just gave everyone a quick life lesson.
You're
and
like,
shut everyone up. No, I was impressed. I'm like, yeah, she's absolutely on the money. I was never that crazy, expecting my kids to be NHL players or whatever else. But maybe some of it had to do with what she said that day, because she definitely put it in perspective. Unless you're anyway,
Yeah.
but that's
Well, and fast forward to today, she passed.
yeah, 6 years ago.
Just abruptly, that must have been a big game changer in your life.
It was, and like, how do you grieve? How do you it's not okay. You question everything. You question faith. You question the world. You question why her, the sweetest, most amazing person who's helped hundreds and thousands of people and put her emotion into it. I mean, even in real estate, she wasn't there for the sale. She was there to help people find their dream home. And I mean, there's a lot of customers that said, I want the house. And my mom would be like, no, that's not your house.
My mom's the same way. That's funny.
She's like, no, that's not your house. I see you in a different house. We're going to find you the right house.
Oh.
You're settling, and I'm going to find you the right house. And she did. And I'm getting emotional, but people still tell me today, like, she wouldn't let me buy the wrong house. And you don't have a lot of that today. You have, let's go get the sale and on to the next and on to the next.
Oh, yeah.
And my mom
have that at all today.
My mom was never like that. Zero. She was going to find people the right house, whatever it took. And, she was successful. She was one of the early, Russian realtors. Again, master's degree in music theory, is now doing business and complicated real estate transactions. But she was a people's person. Anyway,
So that was 2017.
Something like that, yeah. But
where were you in 2017? What were you doing? What was your life like?
I had a startup, raised millions of dollars. It was a really shitty time. But there's no good time. Just at the time. Again, there's issue. It was a software technology company, and we're building out a platform, and the platform crashed. And again, raising millions of dollars, so a lot of stress, a lot of again, super difficult time, and probably led to just years of not knowing how to grieve right, not knowing the right words to say or think. I had issues going to the cemetery, like, what do I say? What do I do? Do I play a classical song? Just not knowing what to do, like, just feel lost, and just no answers. My brother moved back, which was amazing. He lived in New Orleans to be close to me and my dad. I think my brother and I became closer with my dad. So now we, smoke cigars together and watch sports, and have become, really close.
And how do you think not knowing and the feeling that you had kind of transpired into who you became? Did you change at all after your mom passed?
My mom always worried about me. She saw how I partied and how I drank, and she would say things like a lot. Not now. I'm sober almost 2 years in a couple of weeks, so have not touched alcohol or drugs in 2 years, which is amazing, and a miracle. But my dad will say that she used to pray for you, but she left to be closer to God, to nudge him stronger, so to lead to your new, clean, healthy path, which is really deep and strong. But a lot of what she said was literally facts, truth. She'd be like, "You're allergic to alcohol." I'd be like, "What are you talking about? Like, I don't break out into hives and whatever else." As soon as, I started working strong in sobriety, it was all about the fact that my body does react differently than others once I put alcohol in. Like, I want more, and it is an allergy. That's exactly what the definition of allergy is. And like goosebumps, I'm just like, I still hear her. I still see her. She's saying, "Don't touch it. You're allergic to it." I'm like, what are you talking about? And yeah, that was always the case. So it was never necessarily, daily or whatever else. But when I touched it, who knew how many I was going to have or whatever else? It was just always that Russian restaurant type theme of shot after shot until who knows what, and that's just not healthy and not good.
Right. No, I was going to ask you, what are you most proud about in your life? There's probably a couple things that you can say, but I'm sure that's one.
This transformation is definitely up there. I mean, my kids, my marriage, just who I am as a human being, the fact that I had to hit a few bottoms to get to where I am today. But just seeing the fact that so many people still suffer and still can't connect the dots and can't put it together, and just because change is hard. Yeah. And again, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, can anyone change, including me? I'd say absolutely not. In fact, I am the least likely to succeed, like least of the least. And a lot of people in my life would probably agree at the time. Not probably. Most of them would definitely agree.
I cannot even imagine.
But here I am. Yeah. Healthy, happy, peaceful, very little to no, stress and anxiety. Again, a lot due to Jeremy and calming me down. He's absolutely the right business partner for me. It's this new life. Does the old Eric still come out? Who is anxious and ego and yeah, of course, all the time. So, but the progress and the seeing it and trying to change it and reflecting on it and journaling on it and meditating on it, or just dropping everything and going for a workout because I know what I'm going to feel like afterwards. And it's amazing how it works. It just works.
It does. But one thing about you that's very different than most people I know is that you're very genuine and you're very authentic and transparent. Why do you think you're like that?
I think in the past, I wasn't. I think it was always about me, and there was lack of empathy. I feel and I see how I would always try to manipulate situations and conversations. Again, because of a lot of built up anxiety and fears and the high expectations that I set on myself. And it just wasn't authentic. It was a delusion. It was, again, I joke that I play chess with people that weren't playing chess back, and there's just no reason for it. And the more that I would do work on myself, mind, body, and soul, the less I need that, and the more I realize that some of the things that I thought I could never live without, I can now never imagine life with anymore. And that is what's super awesome in this new life. And I
Mm-hmm.
can have empathy for people. I can help people and not need or want anything in return. I'm okay at any size of this business as long as family is good and healthy and happy, and we have great employees and we're helping other people and whatever else. Whether we have 3 locations or 300 locations, I'm good. I'm good today. And in the past, I wouldn't have been, because 300 locations would have been the goal. And as soon as I'd hit it, it would be 3,000, and it would never be good enough. And I would never be grateful, and I would never be present, and just happy, authentically happy. Not, hey, what's up? How are you? Hey, I'm great. What bullshit. That's
Right.
total bullshit. But literally just authentically good. Is everything perfect? Do I not have the same, family health stresses and financial stresses? Of course I do, just like anyone else. But living to have faith and just have this super high priority of taking care of my side of the street first and foremost, like that's the most important. And that, Eric, can give a very different ripple effect on to others than the old Eric. And
Well, I like that, because that really gets me into why I wanted to sit down and talk to you, because I started going through your Facebook page and I saw what you were doing with your running, and I have a couple dates here. So, you started in the November 2020, that was day 1. Then in November 2021, you finished your 1 year and you took your heart rate from 90 to mid 60s, sober 7 months.
It's mid 50s now,
Ooh,
which is
okay.
amazing.
Pull-ups from 0 to 3, and I know that. I know that's hard. Planks for 3 minutes, 5 a.m. morning routine club. I'm still not a part of that. I don't know if I ever will be. Weight, 252 to 193. That's minus 59 pounds. That's incredible.
Not to mention gain probably 10,
Right.
15 pounds.
From muscle.
Yeah.
And then meditating and journal daily. Then you went to August. You talked about in August 21 how you cheated. You shared it with the world. I cheated, but I'm human and not a robot, and allow myself to fall sometimes. There's that authenticity, that real genuine, never give up, risk taker, always been a risk taker. I want to talk about that too.
Sure.
And then in May 22, you announced, because the last 100 days with friends and family held you accountable, worked, that you were saying how this is what has this, doing this every day, sharing your journey has helped you stay accountable, which I think is really interesting. And then we went down, started again, July 2022, day 16 of 100 mind, body, soul. So every almost 100 days, you start a new journey. And this was your transformation too. So you wrote that you lost 41 pounds in 2 weeks. And
no,
you picked a
not 41 pounds.
Sorry, 4 pounds.
4 pounds.
4 lbs, not 41 pounds. Then you picked a new block to run around. And that seemed to be like a turning point for you. And running started to become a lot more on your page.
Yeah. So,
how did you get into running?
So that was the inspiration to this podcast being about me today. But yeah, so yes, I've signed up for a half marathon, which is insane. To run 13 miles without stopping. I could never, ever in my life run more than half a mile. In 6th grade and 10th grade, I played sports. I was pretty athletic as a kid. Played tennis, played basketball, played football, played soccer, played all the sports, but could never run. Again, I would get winded playing sports as well. I couldn't be out there all game or whatever else like other more athletic kids in the class. But could never do a pull-up, could never run more than a half mile without shin splints and cramps and really bad cramps, painful cramps, painful shin splints at a half mile. So again, fast forward to my transformation, and I'm working out with Jeremy and maybe 4 or 5 months, and we're doing a lot of core. I'm dropping weight. I'm strength training, cardio. My cardio was walking, walking faster, walking at inclines. Did a lot of Metro Parks walking. Again, steps. So 10, 15,000 steps every day for the first 4 or 5 months was absolutely critical to my weight loss and part of this transformation. Listen to a lot of podcasts, listen to, self-help podcasts.
Who's your favorite? Or top 5?
I mean, there's so many. At the time, it was Joe Rogan. Listen to, again, they were long, and my walks were long. I mean, they were 2 hours. But I liked the American Life. I liked, stories of Freakonomics I would listen to. So a lot of business, success, sales.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Personal growth, a lot of sobriety stuff. Was going through that at the time. So it was again a very transformational time. But so 4 or 5 months into it, I go to Jeremy. I go, I'm going to try running today, and he goes, sure, great. And I get on a treadmill and I ran for 1.5 miles without stopping. And I'm just, smile from ear to ear. And I had to go somewhere. I don't know why, but I remember getting off the treadmill, going to Jeremy and go, Jeremy, I just ran 1.5 miles, because he was with the next client or whatever else. And he goes, that's amazing. That's great. And Jeremy was never a runner. And I go, but I think I could do more. Because I felt 0 shin splints, 0 cramps. And again, doing a lot of core in the middle of the strength training workouts. And a couple days later, I ran 3. And then a couple weeks later, I ran 5. My wife goes, and it was, summertime, et cetera. She's like, let's go watch the sunset in Rocky River, solstice, et cetera. I go, great. It's 4:00. I'm going to go for a run. And I don't know what it was. I just felt it. I'm like, today's the day I'm going to hit 13 miles. And it was just got in the zone and started running and got to mile 8 and 9 and 10 and 11, and then pain started coming in into my legs, and I could barely lift them, but I was so close. Like I could, I'm running 11 or 12-minute miles, so I'm just doing the math in my head. 2 miles left, 24 minutes. You can run for 20 more minutes. You can run for 20 more minutes. And I got it done. And I walk into the house, and my body's in total shock. Oh. And, like literally shaking, and the chills, and my body went into some feverish state, and water didn't even seem tempting for me. Like I was trying to drink it, but it just wasn't going down either. And I didn't know whether to grab fruit or whatever else. Inga made me something, and I had a couple sips of, like probably some post-workout protein shake or something she made for me. And she's just like, you're such a crazy moron. Like, who does that? Like, who, people train for months and whatever else. I go, yeah, but I got it done. I check the box. So I guess that it has been my life, is this life of extremes. There's never this middle ground that I'm good at, that I'm good with. It's either
all or nothing.
And
I want to read this from July 2021, July 1st. Okay, this running thing is amazing. Feel the runner's high every few miles. First high sure comes off 2 miles. Second high, 1 earbud comes out. 4 miles. Third high, 6 miles. Second earbud comes out. To be one with breathing and nature. Mad respect to half marathon and full marathon runners. Wow. I would have to run nearly 2 times what I ran today to get that 13.1 car sticker. Definitely a new goal that wasn't even on my radar just a few weeks ago.
Right.
You're kind of going towards that goal right now.
Yeah.
You're almost there.
Next Saturday.
April 8th, 13.1.
April 8th is going to be my first formal run. Again, I ran the 13 miles maybe 5 times. And that's going to be amazing is to finish a formal one. But yeah, just ran it a week ago and did it in 2 hours, 20 minutes. So just finishing a formal
2 hours. Actually, in 2021, you did 3 miles or 3.5 miles in an hour and 42 minutes or something.
No.
Or hour and 20. Yeah, it's hour and 20 minutes. It's late.
So I've always run at 11 to 12 mile per hour pace, and now I'm in the 10:20s, 10:30s. So
look how much growth you've had.
If I had a dream for running as of today, it's not to run a full marathon. I just don't see myself running for 4 or 5 hours, not nonstop. But to do a half marathon under 2 hours, which is about a 9 mile per hour pace, would be amazing. And I think I can do that. Whether or not I ever run a full marathon, I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited. Next Saturday.
What kind of things do you think about when you're running?
Great question. So I can explain what's crazy about running is that it is all mental. It's so much mental strength that's required.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put it at like 80% mental, 20% body.
I would even go 90. I agree.
It is that high of a proportion because when I'm like, yeah, I'm going to run 6 miles today, it's the first mile and the 6th mile that are the hardest. But then the next day, I'm like, I'm going to, not the next day, maybe a couple days later, I'm like, I'm going to run 10. And the first mile and the 10th mile are the hardest. So it's all literally in the mind. And when I set forth and I put on my calendar, I'm going to run 13 miles and I try to eat right the last few days before and get an awesome night's sleep and eat 2 hours before, and have some fruit right before, I can run 13 miles. So it's so mental. But when I first started running, I thought about my mom a lot. So I would listen to classical music.
Mm.
So I didn't listen to, the typical, top, high energy type stuff. I would listen to classical, and it was kind of like my time with my mom, and then the conversations became more clear of thank you for everything in my life and who I am, and a lot of it's her, and
so running has kind of helped you answer that question that you had in 2017.
It definitely has. Yeah, it definitely has. So again, first mile for me is tough, getting going. I just feel still like my body's big and my legs are heavy, and the first mile's hard. Second mile is less hard, but still hard. But then mile 3 through whatever I'm running, -1. As soon as I know there's a mile left, it's hard for me for some reason.
To finish it, it's like, I could be done now.
Right. But so let's just say 8 miles. So mile 1 and 2, or 1 is tough, 2 is less tough. Mile 3 through 7 is just bliss, is just endorphins are kicked in. I feel like I'm floating. I'm one with nature. Headphone comes out. Again, conversations with my mom, meditation, mental journaling, business ideas. I feel like I'm almost working as I'm running because thoughts come through and priorities come through my head of again, when you're in the business, you're so busyness, right? You're so busy and there's 25 or 50 things to do or whatever else, but you go out and for a run, suddenly it becomes super clear, like, this is what you need to prioritize on. This is what I need to get done. When I'm done with this run, this is the top 3 things I got to get done today. And it's just very transforming mentally, very, from cluttered and kind of all over the place to
clear,
just clear and clean, focused. And focused and
productive.
And you just feel freaking awesome. Like, I don't know how to, like.
I think you explained it pretty well.
Well, again, I think anyone can relate, is like a post-workout.
Right.
Or even a post-healthy meal. Like, you've done well. That's the thing, is that self pat on the back. You did great. You worked out, or you ate healthy, or went for a run, or did something that you should be doing, and you're supposed to be doing for yourself, etc. And it feels amazing. I'm definitely addicted to running.
That's a good thing to be addicted to.
Not very addicted. Not every day.
Right.
I don't run.
You're not obsessive.
But
you're just
4, 5, 6 times a week, I'm definitely running, either pre-workout or as a workout, if I go long distances. And I mean, it's just still baffles my mind that I'm even talking about running with anything more.
And you've documented it, so it's actually true what you're saying. And there's that transparent side of you. But when I think about what you say about how you feel about running, it's very mind, body, soul. How do you think Zero Doubt Club created that connection?
I mean,
because Zero Doubt Club's a little bit different than most gyms I've ever been to, personal trainers. They focus on the whole gamut of who you are and your overall well-being versus let's lose 15 pounds, let's gain some muscle mass. It's mind, body, which equals soul.
I mean, I have zero doubt without Jeremy and what's turned into Zero Doubt Club that I'd be running 13 miles today. Just there's no doubt in my mind that I wouldn't be here today.
Well, what should people know about
without mind, body, soul?
Like, what should they know about Zero Doubt Club, mind, body, soul? What is it that they might not know that we know, or that you know?
Coaching, accountability, connecting dots that I never connected before. I mean, we preach it all day, and you can only plant so many seeds for those that really need it and want it. And again, some people unfortunately just have to hit lower bottoms, right? Physically, mentally, spiritually, etc. What we've set up as a company, and again, we're still a baby, 1.5 years old, but again, we've helped a lot of people, and we have a lot of clients now, and food is doing great, whatever else. But it's still, I still don't like. I try not to oversell, and I don't want to oversell either.
You don't,
because people are ready when they're ready. But what's it going to take to be ready? How much lower do you want to go? And Jeremy also hit his low and hired a coach. And that coach he fell in love with, wanted to become a coach, became a coach. Those clients asked for personal training. Ask Jeremy today if he thinks he would have done it without that initial life coach. Probably not.
Yeah.
I did it. I hired Jeremy. Our clients are doing it. All of them. They hired us. Like, at some point, you're just like, okay, I'm ready. I need to get off the fence. There's not one human being, I think, that doesn't know that they should exercise and eat better. I think everyone knows that there's always improvement in muscle mass, fat loss, eating better, so less toxins in the body, and spirituality. You're really connecting the dots and liking who you are and finding your purpose and becoming this healthy, happy person that literally is this amazing ripple effect to everyone, not just family, but colleagues and clients and new people that they run into or whatever else. They just totally exude this positivity ripple, as opposed to the world today which is very negative and sick and toxic. Very. I mean, Cleveland Clinic has a study, 80,000 thoughts a day are negative, and like 80% of those are repetitive. I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, F him, F her, F this, that's not the world to live in. And the more you can disassociate from that, and I still have work to do. I need to turn news off more and so on. Uh-oh. Because when I do, I feel amazing. But again, the working on because they all go hand in hand. You can't just work on mind and your body's not there and you don't feel good or look good to yourself and have any type of spirituality. You can't have spirituality but not, work on your body or mind at all. That's going to go away. So they all go super hand in hand, that you need the dots to connect. And again, what does firing on all cylinders mean? Firing on all cylinders means that, I have strong faith in myself and in the universe. Not living in this lower level of consciousness, right? The egos, the fears, the anxiety, because that's all delusion. It's not real, right? So how many times have we had anxiety or fears over something that never happened?
Like every day.
Every day. And many of the thoughts, because it doesn't exist. It's not real. What's real is faith, presence, right? Positivity, helping others. All that is very real. And when you start living that life and recognizing these lower levels of consciousness in yourself, I pinch myself. I don't know how I got here. And again, you can say, Eric, wow, you put in all this work.
You're living it. You're living the Zero Doubt Club mission.
But it's not work. That life was work.
Right. That
life of living in anxiety, not feeling good, not looking good, feared, worried, negative, that's all work. Joint pain, back pain, etc. Getting out of bed, again, running any type of normal distance to play with kids, that's pain. That's pain.
Yeah.
Today, that last mile I'm talking about, or that first mile, that's not pain.
Right. That's just goals.
It's just goals. And again, it's not pain and it's not work is my point. That life was work.
I feel like after kind of, digging deep and investigating your life now, just getting to know you a little bit more and also working with you, I'm seeing Zero Doubt Club's results. So the mission is always to become the best version of yourself.
Yep.
And you went from, you were working, doing your thing, you have a passion for helping others, and you want to make this, the mission statement for Zero Doubt Club is to help the community here in Ohio become the best version of themselves. And I just thought of 2017 when you didn't know what to do with someone who was so special and sort of the heart of your life. You were able to finally deal with that and create a relationship and become happier outside of just your mom, but just in all aspects of your life from doing all three things. And it's really inspiring to see you run, because that running was something that you were meant to do, but you might have never done it and accomplished your mission, And right. Here you are, you're on April 8th doing 13.1.
13.1.
And this is just the beginning for you.
It's the beginning of formal runs. So yeah, those are to be super honest, I'm like, am I just going to run one and done? Is that enough? You've hit your goal. or am I going to do more? And am I going to do long distances?
You'll do more.
And maybe I should do a cycling race too. But what does that race look like? So it's a little bit of a challenge. Maybe it's 50 miles because I've done 20 in my past. What about swimming? I've never done it. So those are the type of thoughts. What about, climbing mountains and whatever else? But that's definitely a dream and a goal of mine to do in the next year or two for sure, is climb one of the 7
You're
peaks.
a risk taker, by the way, Eric.
Yeah.
You're a risk taker. That is a gift.
Because I don't want mundane. Like, if you giving me a job that many other people can do, it's just not for me. It's just, I want to build something. I want to grow something. I want to bring uniqueness to the situation. I'm just not going to be happy. I'm going to be happy building, growing, hiring, watching those people crush it and successful and have their own legacies. Like that's what gets me out of bed in the morning. So yeah, I take risks and I talk about past businesses. I've hit doubles, I've hit triples, no home runs yet. I've had failures.
You hit a home run. You're going 13.1. July 2021.
No, I'm just saying in business, but yeah, no, that's a grand slam. It's a very small percentage.
Right?
It's a very small percentage of people in the world that can.
0.08%. I saw the stat today.
0.08%. Yeah, that's
for Mary.
Much lower than I thought. That's ridiculous.
Hello. Hi, I'm Navah. Nice to meet you.
What's up?
Okay, well,
she's so good at stats.
What would be the last thing that you would say? What would you want people to know about Zero Doubt Club? Because it's changed your entire life, really. You're sober.
Here's what I would
how are you
leave
different?
with, and literally it's the first thing that popped into my head, so I'm going to say it.
Okay, good.
Without overthinking it or whatever else. So I just watched the documentary Stutz, Jonah Hill, and one of the analogies was the pearl necklace, and Stutz, which is now he's a world famous psychiatrist, psychologist, etc. Helps his clients with the visualization of their life as a pearl necklace. And it doesn't matter the size of the pearl or the quality of the pearl or whatever else, but you got to keep adding pearls to the necklace, and envision the positive pearls that you need to add to create this beautiful pearl necklace of your life. And that's how I see it. I think, when you talk to people that live a life like I lived, and I think if somebody would have told me 2 years ago, put on these 30 pearls, wake up at 5 a.m., journal, meditate, work out, I'd be like, dude, you're out of your mind.
5 a.m.
And I'd be like, no way. But the pearls on the necklace went on, and most importantly, I made the decision that I'm building this new necklace of pearls, and they were going to be healthy and happy and positive and things that made me feel good, and not live that other life anymore. So again, a man of extremes. I was here. I'm here. I can't have that middle ground, but the middle ground is building that necklace. And that's what I would leave this talk on today is, go from 3 bad meals a day to 2, to 1, to none is adding pearls on the necklace. Exercising from nothing to walking to working out once a week or whatever else. Strength training is so important. The strength training is what allowed me to start running. It was such a big part of it. And the strength training led me to eat better, which led me to sleep better, which led connected all these other dots, and now I wanted to wake up early so I had more me time of journaling and meditating. And so this necklace started, and again, I have so much work to do, and
there you go.
But again, it's not work. That's what I guess I would leave this conversation with is I'm building this pearl necklace. Whatever other pearl I can add to it to add value to me, I know will have a ripple effect of positivity and positive pearls onto others. So I'm going to keep taking care of me, as selfish as that sounds.
Not at all. Even the airport tells you to do that when they're going down to, parents should always put their mask on first, right?
Sure. And that's the best analogy is you got to take care of yourself. You got to keep cleaning your side of the street. And again, miracles and magic happens.
Wow. Miracles. Maybe you can have a song on the piano like that, Miracles and Magic.
Yeah.
Is there one song like that?
So we have a book to write. We have songs to write. We have a lot of work to do.
There's so much work to do. I can't. Okay. Well, hopefully Chat GPT can help us with that one.
Right.
Right. Okay. What was your favorite workout? Just as a side note, this is going to be just a side.
Ask Jeremy and Aaron and Megan. They'll tell you not legs. But I do like legs. I joke about that.
He's got legs.
My favorite workout now is probably running.
Okay. What about a strength training one? Just because.
Aaron's showed me so many things.
I know, it's easy to forget.
And they're so innovative and they're so cool. We have the dual cable machine, and to take the attachment off and just grab the ball and just straight down, and the hyper focus on the tricep is a favorite of mine. Doing rows the right way, to 2-hand rows. Pull-ups now. I just feel my back forming into the V that I'd never had, just from being able to do pull-ups and just driving the elbows down and just feeling the strength increase in my back. It's almost like core for the back for me.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite meal? That's fine, you got it. What's your favorite meal?
Crab legs.
What's your favorite meal from Zero Doubt Club?
All of them.
What do you like about Zero Doubt Club?
Meals,
yeah.
I mean, it's a life changer. I don't have to think about it. I get it. I'm the owner. I don't have to pay for it. But if I had to pay for it, that's true. I do pay for it. But it's a total life and game changer. I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to worry about going to Panera Bread and eating their garbage, very low quality foods. And what am I going to eat? I'm driving to go get it and whatever else. I take another amazing meal of ours, throw it in the microwave. 2 minutes later, I'm eating this super gourmet, super healthy, no preservatives, etc. Super delicious. Again, Howie Inga.
We're healthy.
Howie Inga creates these meals. It's super healthy.
I've seen her make it.
Super clean. So I'm on to the next meal.
She uses great products.
Yeah, again, that's what I had a lot of friends tell me also at the beginning of the journey. Is like, yeah, you'll lose, but you'll gain it all back. And literally, because of the meals, I want to say is a huge part.
Biggest 90% of what you eat.
I think I never gained anything back.
I think it's the music.
Yeah. The music of life.
Mm-hmm.
Music of life.
Can't wait to.
So much music.
So much music is a big part of your life.
It's a big part of my life.
Wow.
I'll pay attention to it more.
Yeah.
Thanks for connecting those dots.
Well, there's so many more questions I have, but you only have a few seconds left till you have to go. But
I gotta go.
Part two. Yeah.
Thanks, Navah.
Okay.
Next one's on you.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. For sure. I'm not that interesting.
The superstar marketer, digital marketer who's going to take Zero Doubt up to 100 levels.
No. It's going to be the people that you change.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you're presenting the people. Okay.
Happy birthday, Ron Gross.
Ron Gross.
Happy birthday, Ron Gross. Yuri.
So many birthdays.
Oh my gosh. Aries.
Aries.
Zero Dow Club is an Aries brand.
Inga's April 14th.
17th, I thought.
14th. She's going to round it
You would
out.
know better, obviously. What am I telling you?